Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. This is episode 357 of Daily Global Insights, and we have some fantastic breaking information. This might set the course for the world in the next few months and years. And to hear all about it, let's welcome my co-host Sridhar Chityalaji. Sridharji, Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel.
Namaskar, good morning to everybody, and looking forward to another great day.
Sridharji, first off, Biden says he cannot allow all the illegals who have come in to go back. That's the Biden's no in the overlay, sir. What exactly is going on? I mean, these are people from Venezuela, Cuba, and some other countries, Nicaragua. Why can't he send them back? But first of all, how did this sudden statement come about, sir?
Well, I think it's a great question, and Biden's mind only he can read. I'm sure his script changes every day, and probably what the script will be tomorrow, we don't know. On the anvil of the elections, he has to come up with a statement. This whole thing has turned into a fiasco. So what does he do? He turns up in a press conference and says, well, these fellows they're not from Mexico, but they're from Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua. And these fellows are coming from oppressed state, and on a compassionate and other grounds, we have no mechanism, or we don't feel we should send these people back. And what is the basis for this? Did he orchestrate these people to come from these countries? Has he identified these are oppressed people? We know that there's more than 70, 80 countries from which people have come through the border. It's just astonishing that the President of the United States can make such a type of a statement to justify his position. And he's willing to fund these people, but the Red Indians or the old native Indians are now making a statement which is to say, hey, what about us? We have been natives of the land. What have you done to us? So I don't know what is going on with Mr. Biden and his administration, but this is an astonishing statement. It's just going to open the floodgates for more and more people to come in, Sriji.
That's very unfortunate, Sridharji, because United States is not at all equipped to deal with illegal immigration. What happened to what was there before? Nobody can answer this question. And we have a vice president. I mean, we have seen borderline dumb vice president. And I think Kamala Harris is in competition for being portrayed as someone just as bad as perhaps Dan Quayle. Anyway, just my 2 cents, sir. Let's take a look at the markets. The markets are sitting down and talking. I'm sorry, the Fed is sitting down and talking about increasing the rate. If another rate increase happens, some people say even 100 basis points, that's a big jump. Markets are already down. Do you think that they'll take the 100 basis points or maybe 75?
Well, the markets have priced in 75 basis points already. I personally believe, and I hope I am wrong, that the number is going to be 100 basis points because the inflation number has not come down. We reported the August to July numbers. They expected the inflation to come down, and unfortunately, the inflation didn't come down. So therefore, they may have to take an aggressive posture. Two of the CEOs of the leading banks from JP Morgan and Bank of America are in the Hill, which is namely they are meeting the House and the House representatives to give their opinion on what is going to happen if this rate hikes and what the consequences to US and the global economy, and the rates are skyrocketing. But I just don't think Fed is in a listening mode, Sriji.
And India has been doing a lot of activity in and around the world. First off, India and Singapore are going to cooperate in several new areas, ranging from food and energy security, green technology, digital connectivity, etc. This has been going on for a while, sir, but now this sudden breakthrough gives a lot of opportunities for Indian companies to perhaps set up offices in Singapore, sir.
It's exactly it. I think you hit the nail on the head. This is a 5-day meeting that happened between the two nations. The Deputy Prime Minister of Singapore was in India, and then, of course, Prime Minister Modi met with him. And it augurs well within the context of what you have pointed out, which is namely there will be a far more formal structure set up for Indian companies to set up their houses in Singapore and start actually trading easily around the world, making it much easier from a regulation and trading point of view. Singapore has already been one of the top three destinations. Singapore to India, Singapore investments have already been one of the top three venues in terms of capital flows into India. This is only going to augment the breadth and scope of the opportunity that they're alluding to. Food, energy, even medicine, clean energy, clean tech, and such areas means that there is going to be a much closer connectivity between the two nations. And as you all know, Singapore is one of the top three ports in the world. So it's very positive news within that construct, Sriji.
And India, France, and UAE agreed to jointly cooperate in several areas after the External Affairs Ministers' discussions on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly meeting. This is what I always say, Sridharji, that when you are there for something, you can also get some other things done. I think this is a very significant development because now we are seeing France come to the party, sir.
It is. I think that what France is seen, if you recall, we had covered in the earlier DGi programs, France making its reach into West Asia or Middle East or Gulf region in terms of courting partnerships with many of the nations there, primarily around energy as well as around the export of its defense technology. The fact that India has also constructed a tripartite agreement with UAE and Israel, again, augurs well that they seem to be taking the same template in building up this partnership between UAE and France. And I think France has very graciously quoted this partnership. Like Singapore, UAE India is a very, very strong corridor and a partnership vehicle in terms of launching of new stuff that is going on from India's expansion point of view in the export sector.
210 days into the war, Russia now says that it will mobilize 300,000 people to have a referendum in the Donbass region. Sridharji, isn't it a little bit too late now? Because Ukraine is on the offensive. They are poised to drive right through these two regions also.
Well, I think that, when you get into a desperate situation, this is what happens. I know many people don't accept the fact that Russia is on the losing side, at least for the time being. It doesn't mean they're going to eventually concede or, and go back with their tails, hauled up. The fact is that the Kharkov region, I think, Ukraine has made significant ground and probably taken up. But there is a fear that they are now attacking the eastern region, and as a response to that, what is happening, you have seen Russian forces retreat. Reserve is being called by Putin. So the Russian, what you call the pro-Russian regions of Donbass, are now saying they will conduct a referendum and formally seize from Ukraine, to which the global community has outrightly declined or rejected that such a move would be accepted by the world community. Let's wait and see what happens in the next few days.
And now China changes its tune with Taiwan, says it's willing to sit down and talk peacefully over the table or across the table for talks with Taiwan. So this is deja vu, if you ask me. Isn't this how Hong Kong got gobbled up, sir?
Well, Hong Kong had a formal mechanism of transition. That was the arrangement that they had with the Britain, right? So there was a handover agreed when this Chinese Britain partnership was established, that it will cede control. Whereas in the case of Taiwan, Taiwan was never under the CCP. It had ceased and become an independent territory on its own, even before CCP came into prominence. But what is stunning about this announcement is they seem to think that somehow to the world community, based on their Russia-Ukraine template, if you kind of make statements and say, ha, 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 we're all brothers, let's sit across the table, let's come together for the broader good, they perhaps are making a concession that they're willing to sit down and talk. I don't think the Taiwanese people are receptive to this idea. They like their independence, especially the younger generation. They do not want their freedom to be taken out. So I think that this is just a showmanship by Mr. Xi Jinping. And I just don't think anything is going to come out of this, Shriji.
And US and Canadian ships are sailing through the straits again. This is the second time this year. So a lot of things are happening there. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. In the meantime, Xi Jinping says that he owns Central Asia and that anything and everything to do with that region has to be sort of blessed by him. That's how I see the statement he has issued, standing by the side of the Kazakh president. And Sridharji, Uzbekistan is where they hosted the SCO. Now he has gone to Kazakhstan. Where else is he going to go before he returns back to China, sir?
I hope he's not heading towards India and telling them, hey, let's come together and, we'll become bigger and better, and we probably will be 2/3 of the population. Anyway, at least close to half of the population. I don't think India is entertaining that. Now, come back to Kazakh. Central Asia, there are several regions. We haven't touched on the Kazakh-Kyrgyzstan skirmishes that is going on. So he goes to Kazakhstan and makes a statement, I'm with the president, the sovereignty, and by the way, I'm staking my ground. Nobody meddles in Central Asia without my knowledge, and I'm staking my ground sitting next to Kazakhstan. I don't know what locus standi he has, but there he is, making the statement. So he's not only stepped out of China, contrary to many people's apprehensions, but he is making statements from the region.
And lastly, I'm hearing rumors that after the 25th of September, any day after that, there could be a reshuffle in the Indian cabinet, and that the National Security Advisor may be retiring now and a new NSA might come in. We'll have to wait and see if that is true or not. We'll have more clarity tomorrow on that. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click on the bell button for notification. Sridharji, as always, pleasure to have you on our channel, sir. Namaskar, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Namaskar. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.